Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the 2009-10 hockey season on the channel. No need to panic in case you're wondering, Phoenix Knight, this is not a scheduled time at all for you to be live. What's going on? All I did was I just decided, you know what, in the immediate aftermath of my 40th birthday, I decided I wanted a 3-day weekend. So I actually had this time blocked. I actually had this time blocked off already because I had a couple other things going on, but after both of those fell apart, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to leave it on the calendar. We'll take a 3-day weekend around my birthday, and I'll just disconnect for a little bit. Of course, disconnecting also means picking up the pace on the 2009-10 season replay, and Block 38 is going to help us do that nicely, as we are at the Canadian Tire Centre in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, for a game of Strat-O-Matic Hockey featuring the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Ottawa Senators. This is about as close as it comes in the Eastern Conference right now. These two teams are separated by a point in the division race. They're both behind Buffalo in the Northeast Division. Right now, Ottawa is the 7th seed, 34 wins, 29 losses, 6 overtime losses, good for 74 points. And if the playoffs started today, a do-or-die game against the Pittsburgh Penguins in the first round. As for the Maple Leafs, they have 32 wins, 28 losses, and 9 overtime losses. That's good for 73 points, and the current 8th seed, along with the very unenviable task of the Washington Capitals in the first round. So we'll see how well that all holds up. It is March 16th, 2010 in the replay. So without any further ado, we won't have any drama with Strat like we did with Inside the Crease last night, where I figured out, okay, after this replay, we're not going to do anything more with Inside the Crease on the channel. Let's jump right into the action here. Face-offs are +1 to Toronto. So let me bring my play chart over here, and we will jump in with our first face-off. An 11 will be a superior win. That'll go over to Beauchemin, and we're off to start the first period. Passing D for Beauchemin. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Spezza. Spezza's going to try to make a pass. That'll be an inside shot over to Michalik. Michalik will let that go on net. He's in the slot. That's a 5. Save made, and over to Bozak for Toronto. Bozak with it, looking at opponent defense 4. Spezza, that'll be an inside shot for Kessel. Phillips will try to intimidate. Phillips will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. He's got it for Ottawa now. He'll lose that over to Beauchemin. Beauchemin, opponent defense 8. Phillips will take the puck away, but an outside shot only. He'll let that go from the point. That's an 11. He'll lose that over to Kulemin. Kulemin will make a nice block on the play. Passing E for Kulemin. That'll be an outside shot for Kessel. Kessel will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Michalik. Michalik with it, passing E. He'll lose the puck, outside shot for Kulemin. Kulemin will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Alfredson. Alfredson with it for Ottawa. Passing E. That'll be an outside shot for Spezza. Spezza's going to throw that at the net. That's a 7. Save made by Gustafsson, and over to Beauchemin. Beauchemin for Toronto. He'll lose the puck, outside shot only for Spezza. Spezza will throw that at the net. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Gustafsson got a piece of it. Defensive left wing, if defense rating 2 or more. Kulemin is a 3. He will have that for Toronto. Lose the puck, possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Right D, if the breakaway penetration rating is 4. It is not. He'll lose that over to Phaneuf. Phaneuf for Toronto. Looking at opponent defense 6. Volchenkov will take the puck away with an outside shot. He's going to try to make a pass. Passing L. He'll lose the puck over to Bozak just in time for a forwards line change. And now that's Grabovski coming out with the puck for Toronto. After we resolve the forward line change. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Cullen. Cullen will throw that at the net. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Offensive right D. That is Volchenkov with the rebound shot. That's an 8. That's another rebound. Defense, any player with a defense rating 2 or more. Sjostrom is a 2 for Toronto. He will have control of that. Possible breakaway. Right D if the breakaway penetration rating is 3 or more. Boscheman is a 3. He's in alone on Elliott. What can he do with this breakaway? 7. That would be a goalie rating, but if the Maple Leafs are on the power play, but Elliott will instead make a huge save on that one. He'll hold on. We'll get a face-off. Arena cheers. Yay! We'll take that face-off to the left of Elliott. Face-offs now are +1 to Ottawa. A 15, that'll be an inferior win. That'll be over to Stallberg with a huge defensive win for Toronto. We are in the first period, by the way, once I find the remote. And we're off and running once again. That'll be opponent defense 9. Neal. Ooh, that's a penalty. That's actually very bad for Ottawa right now. 1, 2, 3. We'll have our defenseman line change. And then we'll see what kind of power play Toronto's going to be looking at here. As Neal gets caught for a penalty. 13. If one or more 4-rated defensive players, and we do have a 4-rated defensive player, so that's going to be a busy power play for Toronto. They're going to start off with an outside shot for Stallberg. He'll throw that at the net. That's a 9. That'll be a save made. Then an outside shot for the center. So Grabovski with an outside shot now. That's a snake eyes. That's a goal on a 1-14. And score! Mikhail Grabovski giving the Maple Leafs an early 1-0 lead here in the first. Arena groans. Ugh. It is a sellout here at the Canadian Tire Center, by the way. We'll flip over a couple cards, see if we can get some assists. Any player 6? No. Right wing 3? No. Left wing 1? Yes. So actually, Stallberg would have been the flow of play. Actually, no. Theoretically, Ottawa could have gotten that back. So we'll just stick with cards. Stallberg and Grabovski. Actually, no. Grabovski is the one who scored. Schenn. So that'll be Grabovski from Stallberg and Schenn as the Maple Leafs now take a 1-0 lead on a costly penalty by Neal. We'll bring the teams back to center ice. Faceoffs remain +1 to Ottawa. A 15 will be an inferior win. That'll be Stallberg with it for Toronto, and we're off once again. Opponent defense 2. Neal. That'll be an inside shot for Grabovski. Campoli will try to intimidate. He'll fail to take the puck away, but a possible penalty. 1-15, no penalty. That's a 14, no penalty. So Grabovski will have the inside shot. That's a 6. That's a goalie rating on Elliott. And 2, 3, 5, and 6 are bad numbers. 8 is a rebound chance. Defensive right D, that'll be Campoli with it, shutting it down for Ottawa. Opponent defense 10. Caberlet will take the puck away on an outside shot only. He's going to let that go from the point. Caberlet, 6. Save made by Elliott, right back to Campoli. Campoli looking at opponent defense 6. That'll be an outside shot for Cullen. Cullen will try to make... Actually, Cullen is going to try to penetrate. He's a 1-15 to penetrate for an inside shot. He will penetrate. That'll be an inside shot instead for Cullen. That's a 2. Oh boy. That's a goal on a 1-14. And no! Gustafsson makes a huge save. He'll hold on. We'll get a face-off. Arena groans. Ugh. We'll take that face-off to the left of Gustafsson. This is a huge draw for both teams coming up here in the first. This is early, but it's still a big draw. Face-offs remain +1 to Ottawa. 6 will be a superior win. That'll go over to Campoli, and we're off once again. Passing F. That will be lose the puck, outside shot for Sjostrom. Sjostrom will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck, any defensive player with control of it. They'll give that to Sutton on a forwards line change. Sutton with control of that for Ottawa. He will lose the puck, outside shot for any player. They will give that to... They'll give that to Lundmark. Intimidation, Kovalev will try to intimidate. Kovalev will not intimidate. Lundmark will have the outside shot. That's a 6. Save made and over to Kovalev. Kovalev for Ottawa. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Left defenseman, that is Sutton. Somehow he's gotten away from everybody. He's in on Gustafsson alone. What can Sutton do with a breakaway shot? That's a 10. That's a goal on a 1-8. And score! Andy Sutton ties the game for Ottawa on a breakaway here in the first. Arena cheers. Yay! We'll see about getting some assists out of that. Let's see. Any players? 6? No. Left wing 4? No. Right wing 2? Yes. That'll be from Kovalev. And Campoli. And just like that, we are tied at 1 here early in the first, actually later stages of the first period now that I look at the deck. Face-offs now are even. A 12 is going to be a visitor win. That'll go over to Wallen, and we're off once again. Passing E. He'll lose the puck, outside shot for Kelly. Kelly will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Mitchell. Mitchell with it for Toronto. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Sutton. Sutton will let that go. That's a 7. Save made, and that'll go over to Schenn. Schenn for Toronto. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Campoli. Campoli will throw that at the net. That's a 5. Save made by Gustafsson and over to Mitchell. Lose the puck, inside shot for anybody. They will give that inside shot to... They're going to give it to Kovalev. Lundmark will try to intimidate. Lundmark will intimidate, take the puck away, but a possible penalty on Lundmark. 1-12, no penalty. That's a 20, which means we will have a penalty. 1, 2, 3. But a power play 16 is checking if we have all 4 rated defensive players. We do not, so no shots on the power play. We'll bring that face-off just out of the Toronto end. Face-offs are even. A 10 will be the home win. That'll go up to Kovalev. And last play of the first period. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot only for Lundmark. Lundmark will throw that at the net. That's a 7. He'll lose that over to Sutton. But there's the horn to end the first period. After 1, we are tied here at the Canadian Tire Center as we get set for the second period of today's game. Okay, we are just getting set for the second period of this game. Just getting everything set for the second period of this game. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defensemen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now, we are all set for the second period of this game. Just going to check we're on second period. Camera didn't freeze on me. So we are set for the second period. Teams are at center ice. Actually, announcer is going to take a quick hydrate break. Much better. Now that we're all set here, let's jump into the next game of the. Let's jump into the next face, the opening face-off of the second period. Face-offs are back to being +1 to Toronto, and a 7 will be a superior win. That'll go up to Kuhlman, and we're off and running as we are tied here to start the second. He'll lose the puck, inside shot for anybody. They will give that inside shot to. They're going to give it to Spezza. Bozak will try to intimidate. Bozak will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Bozak for Toronto. Opponent defense 2. That'll be an inside shot for Kessel. Lefty is Phillips. He will try to intimidate. Phillips will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Phillips with it for Ottawa. Opponent defense 5. Boschman, that'll be an outside shot for Alfredson. Alfredson will take the outside shot. That's a 9. Save made by Gustafsson and over to Bozak. Bozak lose the puck. Outside shot only for Spezza. Spezza will throw that one at the net. That's a 7. Save made by Gustafsson over to Boschman. Boschman, inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They will give that inside shot to Kessel. Mikhailiuk will try to intimidate. Mikhailiuk will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Lose it right back to Kessel. Lose the puck. Outside shot only for Volchenkov. Volchenkov will throw that at the net, 8 is a rebound chance. Offensive left defenseman. That is Phillips with a rebound shot. That's a 6. He'll lose that over to Bozak. Bozak for Toronto. Looking at passing D. That'll be an inside shot for Kessel. Mikhailiuk will try to intimidate. Mikhailiuk will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Mikhailiuk for Ottawa. Passing E. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Kuhlman. Kuhlman will try to make a pass. Inside shot for Kessel. Kessel's got that one in the slot on Elliott. That's a 9. Save made by Elliott, and that'll go over to Alfredson. Alfredson for Ottawa. Outside shot only for anybody. He will take that himself. That's a 10. Save made over to Phaneuf, and we've got a forwards line change. Phaneuf with it for Toronto. Opponent defense 10. Volchenkov. Ooh, that's a penalty on Ottawa. 1, 2, 3. This is how Toronto scored their first goal of the game. A 5 is our power play. We're checking the right defenseman. If he's a 3 or more, he is. So that'll be an outside shot for Stallberg. That's a 6. Save made. And an inside shot for Sjostrom. Sjostrom will let that go from the slot. That's a 6. He'll lose that, and the power play, just like that, is over. Arena cheers. Yay! We'll take that just outside the Ottawa zone. Face-offs are +1 to Fisher for Ottawa. A 10, that'll be a superior win. That'll go up to Neal, and we're off once again. Opponent defense 3, that'll be an inside shot for Fisher. Left defenseman Phaneuf, he will try to intimidate. Phaneuf will intimidate. He'll take the puck away just in time for a defenseman line change. Caberlet with it now for Toronto. Passing D for Caberlet. That'll be an inside shot for Grabowski. Fisher will try to intimidate. Fisher will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Fisher for Ottawa. Passing E. That'll be an outside shot for Cullen. Cullen will try to penetrate. He's a 1 to 15 trying to penetrate. That is a 9. Cullen will have an inside shot. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defensive right D if defense rating 3 or more. Shen is a 2, which means Sutton will have a rebound shot. That's a 3. That's a goalie rating on Gustafsson. 5, 8, and 9 are bad numbers. That is an 8. Score! Andy Sutton giving the Senators a 2-1 lead here in the second. Arena cheers. Yay! That'll be from Fisher. Actually, no. He wasn't the one who penetrated. Cullen was. And we'll flip over a card to get an assist. Let's see. No player with 8. Fisher already has an assist. Cullen already has an assist, so it looks like just the 1 assist on the play. That'll be from Cullen. As the Senators now jump out to a 2-1 lead, where every point has the potential to matter in this Pacific... Which division is this? I forget. In this Northeast Division matchup. The Pacific Division is in the Western Conference. Okay, now that we've got that all sorted out, we're back to center ice for the face-off. Face-offs are +1 to Ottawa. A 17, though, that'll be an inferior win. That'll be Caberlet for Toronto, and we're off once again. Looking at passing F, that'll be an outside shot for Stahlberg. Stahlberg will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck, as Fisher will pick that one off, and he's in control of it for Ottawa. Losing the puck, outside shot only for Caberlet. Caberlet will let that go from the point. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defensive right D, if defense rating 2 or more, Campoli is a 2. He will have control of that for Ottawa. Opponent defense 9. Looking at Caberlet, he'll take the puck away, outside shot only. He'll let that go from the point. That's a 3. Save made over to Cullen, just in time for a forwards line change. That'll be Route 2 with it for Ottawa. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Mitchell. He'll throw that at the net from the point. That's a 9. That's a goalie rating on Elliott. 2, 3, 5, and 6 are your bad numbers. That's a 10. Elliott will freeze that one. We'll get a face-off to the right of Elliott. Face-offs are even. A 14 will be a visitor win. That'll be visitor right defenseman. That'll be over to Shen. And we're off for Toronto once again. Passing E. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Kelly. Kelly will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck, and that'll go over to Wall and any defensive player with control. Opponent defense 1. Route 2 will take the puck away. He'll have an outside shot on that. He will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Lundmark. Lundmark for Toronto. He'll lose that over to Kovalev. Kovalev's got it for Ottawa. Looking at passing D. That'll be an inside shot for Route 2. Right defenseman. Actually, opponent can try to intimidate. That's Wallen. He will try to intimidate. He'll take the puck away, but a possible penalty. 1 to 15, no penalty. That is an 18, so we are going to have a penalty. 1, 2, 3. Checking once again for 4-rated defensive players because we got a power play of 16. They are not, so nothing happening on the power play. We'll take that face-off just out of Toronto's zone. Faceoffs are even. 15 will be a visiting left wing win. That'll be Lundmark, and we're off once again. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Kovalev. Kovalev will throw that at the net. That's a 9. Save made by Gustafsson and over to Shen. Last chance of the period. Opponent defense 4. Sutton will take the puck away with an inside shot. Left defenseman is Caberlet. He will try to intimidate as the seconds are ticking down. He will intimidate, take the puck away, but that's the horn to end the second period of this game. Ottawa with the only tally, Sutton second on the day, as the Senators now hold a 2-1 lead heading into the third period of this game. Hopefully you guys are enjoying a little bit of Friday morning hockey here on the channel. Block 39 is going to take us back to inside the crease, but I don't know what game that's going to be yet. And I do know that'll be later this afternoon, though. We are going to pick that game on the fly. We'll pick that game after we do final score hockey from this one. I know what game I'm leaning toward for that, but I'm going to hold that close to the vest until we see how final score hockey goes for the rest of the NHL in this block. We're also definitely getting down to toward the end of the regular season. I'm just starting to map out my playoff schedule. I expect to finish the regular season toward the end of this month. Then we'll have Pino with Phoenix for the month, and then I expect to start the playoffs on Labor Day. So we're already getting into the tail end of this replay. And as I mentioned last night, Inside the Crease is not going to be a replay engine anymore moving forward. I really enjoy the system of Inside the Crease, but between having to chop it up just so it fits on a weeknight block and being where I have to get a third period situation out of it, and it being an over 2-hour video, even without the laundry breaks I was taking last night, that game still ran me over 2 hours. Well, that game would have run me over 2 hours. Even without those laundry breaks in there, I think it still would have been too long to be a replay engine moving forward. So Inside the Crease is, like I said, it's not a result of it being a bad game by any stretch of the imagination, just the opposite. I really enjoy Inside the Crease. But for a project that's got tightly constrained schedules like these replays do, I just can't use it. Just going to check on my phone, make sure nothing crazy is going on today. Okay. Okay. All right. Just saw something about what's going on, one thing that's going on at work. So trying to stay somewhat up to speed on that. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9, 10. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defensemen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. As Philip Reynolds is first to join us here at the Canadian Tire Center. Just finished Game 8 Blue Jackets, 7-4 win versus Pittsburgh. Up next, Buffalo on the road. Nice. That's your Red Ice project that you've been working on of late, Philip, right? Take a quick hydrate break, and then we'll jump into the third period of this one. Okay. Face-offs are +1 to Toronto to start. An 11 will be a superior win. That'll go to Kessel, and we're off to start the third period of this game. Opponent defense 9. Michalik will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He's going to let that go. That's a 7. Save made and over to Boscheman. Boscheman with it. Looking at opponent defense 5. Phillips will take the puck away with an outside shot. He's going to try to make a pass. Passing L. He'll lose that over to Kuhlman. Kuhlman for Toronto as the Maple Leafs need the equalizer. Passing D. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot from Michalik. Michalik will try to make a pass. 6-2 for a record. Nice. Passing L. He'll lose that right back to Kuhlman. They're going to play hot potato with the puck, I guess. Lose the puck. Outside shot only for Volchenkov. Volchenkov will let that go from the point. That's an 11. That's a goalie rating on Gustafsson. That's a 12. Save made by Gustafsson, and that'll go over to Phaneuf. Phaneuf for Toronto. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot only for Michalik. Michalik will throw that at the net. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. This is how trouble starts. Defensive left wing. If defense rating 2 or more. Kuhlman is a 3. He will have that for Toronto. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Bozak. Bozak will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck as Phillips will intercept that one. He'll have control of it for Ottawa. He'll lose that over to Boscheman. Boscheman looking at passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Kuhlman. Kuhlman will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Alfredson. Alfredson for Ottawa. Opponent defense 2. Kuhlman will take the puck away with an inside shot. Alfredson will try to intimidate. Alfredson will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Alfredson's got it right back for Ottawa. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Michalik. Michalik will throw that at the net. That's a 7. Save made over to Kessel, just in time for a forwards line change. Oop. Sjostrom with it for Toronto. Passing E. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Fisher. Fisher's going to try to make a pass. Passing K will be an inside shot for Cullen. Uh-oh. Cullen with it. He's got 2 already. He's looking for the hat trick. Actually, a natural hat trick, too. 2. Goal on a 1-14. And score! Matt Cullen pulls off a hockey rarity with a... Oh, no. He doesn't get the natural hat trick. Never mind. I thought he had... Never mind. I was excited for a natural hat trick before I realized Sutton is actually the one with the 2 goals on the night. But the Senators do have a 3-1 lead. Arena cheers. Yay! That was from Fisher. Actually, I think that was from... I'm trying to remember how this went. Let's see. Passing E. I'm trying to remember how this went. Passing E. Well, however it went, I'm actually going to flip over a couple cards. I was trying to follow the flow of play back. That'll be from Fisher. And Volchenkov. As the Senators now have a 3-1 lead here in the third. Teams are going to go back to center ice. Face-offs are +1 to Ottawa. 16, though, will be an inferior win. That'll be an inferior right wing win. That'll go over to Sjostrom, and we're off. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot only for Neal. Neal will throw that at the net. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Rebound, offensive right defenseman. Volchenkov with a rebound shot. 6, and he'll lose that over to Grabovski. Grabovski will make a big block on that one. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot only for Fisher. Fisher will throw that at the net. 7. Save made by Gustafsson and over to Stallberg. Stallberg with it for Toronto. Opponent defense 4. That'll be an inside shot for Grabovski. Volchenkov will try to intimidate. Volchenkov will intimidate, take away the puck, but a possible penalty. A 1-15, no penalty. That is a 15. Volchenkov's got it. We'll play on. Passing D for Volchenkov. That'll be an outside shot for Fisher. Fisher will try to make a pass. He will lose the puck over to Grabowski just in time for a defenseman line change. Grabowski with it for Toronto. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They will give that to... They'll give that to Stallberg. Neal is not going to try to intimidate with a double-A penalty rating. So it was an inside shot for Stallberg. 10. Save made by Elliott. That'll come over to Fisher. Fisher with it for Ottawa. Looking at opponent defense 10. Grabowski will take the puck away. Outside shot only. Toronto needs to get something going here. That's a 6. That was a... Right, that's an outside shot only. 6. Save made and up to Neal. Neal for Ottawa. He will lose that over to Stallberg. Stallberg with it. Opponent defense 3. That'll be an inside shot for Sjostrom. Left defenseman is Sutton. He will try to intimidate on a 1-12. That's a 1. Sutton will take the puck away. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Left wing, that's Cullen. He's in alone on Gustafsson. He managed to get away from the pack. Let's see what he does with it. That's a 7. Save made. Huge save by Gustafsson over to Sjostrom, just in time for a forwards line change. As the Maple Leafs are trying to get back into this game. Wallen with the puck now for Toronto. Passing D. He'll lose the puck. Inside shot for Kovalev. Opponent Lundmark has to try to intimidate. A 1-12. That's a 10. Lundmark will take the puck away. Lundmark for Toronto. He'll lose the puck. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Right wing center if the breakaway penetration rating is 4. Kovalev is a 4. He is in on Gustafsson alone. That's a 12. He'll lose that to any defensive player. Mitchell will have that for Toronto. As he speeds back, he'll lose that over to Kelly. Kelly with it for Ottawa. Passing F. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Lundmark. Lundmark's got to throw this one at the net. A 6. Save made and over to Kovalev. Kovalev with it for Ottawa. Passing E. That'll be an outside shot for Kelly. Kelly will try to make a pass. Passing J is an inside shot right back to Kovalev. Kovalev managed to get a better spot. Now he's in the slot with an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defense, any player with a defense rating of 4, and there is not one on any opposing player has a rebound shot. They're going to give that to... They're going to give the rebound shot. Actually, Kovalev is going to follow his own rebound into the net. That's a 7. Save made by Gustafsson over to Mitchell. He'll stop the rebound sequence. For Toronto, opponent defense 1. Kelly will take the puck away with an outside shot. He's going to try to make a pass. Inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Sutton. Sutton's going to try his luck. That's an 11. He'll lose that over to Shen. Shen for Toronto. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Left D if the breakaway penetration rating is 2 or more. Caberlet is a 3. He is in on Elliott alone. That's a 10. Save made and over to Kelly. Kelly back for Ottawa. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot only for Caberlet. Caberlet will let that go at the net. That's a 9. Save made over to Ruutu. Ruutu for Ottawa. Inside shot for anybody. They will give that to Kovalev. Lundmark has to try to intimidate. That's an 8. Lundmark will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Last chance for Toronto. Opponent defense 2. Kovalev will take the puck away with an outside shot. Clock ticking down. That's a 9. Save made over to Shen, but there's the horn to end the game. Ottawa manages to get a goal in every period of this one. They will take a huge divisional matchup against the Maple Leafs by a final score of 3-1. Arena cheers. Yay! That is a huge 2 points for Ottawa in the range of... That is a huge 2 points for Ottawa in terms of trying to keep the 7 seed against Toronto. Maple Leafs get completely shut out in this one in terms of earning any points in the standings. But, of course, you guys know the drill by now. We are not done yet with this one, as we've still got to see how the rest of the NHL fared in the ticker. As usual, I'm going to do my cleanup, and then we are going to see to that. I'm not going to go too far with these business card holders because I do expect to have a second block in the replay today. That will be back in inside. That'll be an inside the crease hockey a little bit later. I am, in case you didn't miss what was happening last night, Philip, just a quick explanation of what's going to be happening moving forward. I realized that I was kind of tap dancing around it for a while, but I've finally come to grips with the fact that as a replay engine, inside the crease, just as actually I think you were around last night for this all, but for anybody who might be happening on this video, moving forward, for me at least, inside the crease as a hockey replay engine is not going to work for me. It's just the game. Ultimately, I want to be able to play a full game all the way through, and inside the crease won't let me do that. I have to chop it up into a third period only block just to get to a length of time for a game that's manageable. And by chopping the game up like that, I actually ended up compromising the standings, even though my intention was not to do that. So I'm kind of glad this ended up happening in this project. Well, maybe glad isn't the way I want to put it, but this is my first hockey replay on the channel, so it definitely helped me smoke out some. It definitely helped me smoke out some of the problems that I was going to have with this first replay. Let me get the ticker. Let me get my ticker adjusted so I've got block 39 visible. Since we are going to be picking, yeah, I'm gonna try Hockey Blast. I'm going to try a few games of Hockey Blast just to see if it'll work. In fact, I'm going to do a few plays off the channel, but I've also worked it into my off-season schedule for this coming off-season. So you guys are going to get to see that on the channel as well. Let's see. Big game chart. Pressure goes with the overtime stuff. I'm going to take a quick hydrate break. Bring the dice tower a little bit closer, and now we're all set to see how the rest of the NHL fared in this block. It is, in the replay, it is March 16th, 2010, and we are starting off with the Sabres at the Thrashers. Buffalo, I-22, that is 2. Atlanta, K-54, that is 4. The Thrashers will double up the Sabres, 4-2. Bruins and the Hurricanes. Boston, G56, that is 4. Carolina, L56, that is also 4 somehow. Pressure situations all around. Both teams are E's under pressure. An E23 won't help Boston. Neither will Carolina get any help with an E54, which means that game is going to overtime. Carolina with a chance to win first. An L15, an L15 won't help Carolina. Neither will a G31 do anything for Boston, so we've got a shootout. Both teams are D's in the shootout, so round 1. Wow, both teams will score on 66s, round 2. Neither team will score, round 3. Next unanswered goal seems likely to win it, which neither team will get there, round 4. Carolina will pick up the win in the shootout, 5-4. San Jose at Dallas. Sharks, K54 is 4. Dallas, L31, that is 3. That's a pressure situation for Dallas. The Stars are an E under pressure. An E21 won't do anything for Dallas, though. San Jose will pick up a 4-3 victory. Washington at Florida. Capitals, P42, that is 4. Panthers, H55, that is also 4. Pressure situations all around. Washington's an A, Florida is an E. An A43 won't do anything for Washington, neither will an E16 for Florida. That game is going to overtime. Panthers with a chance to win first. Florida doesn't get anything with an H32. Neither do the Capitals with a P16. Even that's not high enough, which means we are headed for another shootout. Washington, both teams are C's in the shootout, round 1. Washington will score, Florida will not, round 2. Florida will score this time, Washington will not, round 3. Neither team will score, round 4. Next unanswered goal wins it. Which Washington will not score, Florida will. The Panthers will take that one 5-4 in a shootout. Oilers and the Wild. Both teams, nope. Edmonton, G45. I was going to say both are G's, but they're not. Edmonton is 3. Minnesota, E34. That is 2. That's a pressure situation for the Wild. They are an E under pressure. An E13 won't help Minnesota, though. Edmonton will get a 3-2 victory. Philadelphia at Nashville. Flyers, G15, that is 1. Predators, K52, that is 4. Nashville with a 4-1 victory. How in the world did Philadelphia win the Eastern Conference this season in real life? Canadiens and the Rangers. Montreal, G26 is 2. Rangers, J51, that is 3. Pressure situation for the Canadiens. They're an E under pressure. An E14 won't do anything for Montreal. The Rangers will take that one 3-2. Avalanche and the Blues are both I's. Colorado rolls a 24. That is 2. Blues roll a 62. That is 4. And the Blues will have Colorado singing the Blues 4-2. Phoenix at Tampa Bay. Coyotes, G32. is 2. Lightning, K12 is 1. Pressure situation for Tampa Bay, they're an E under pressure. An E46 won't do anything for Tampa Bay, though. Phoenix will get a 2-1 victory. Islanders and the Canucks. New York, E36 is 2. Vancouver, L26, that is 3. That's a pressure situation for the Islanders. They're an E under pressure. An E56 won't help the Islanders. Vancouver will escape with a 3-2 victory. On to March 17th. Chicago at Anaheim. Both are L's. Wow, Blackhawks roll a 13 for 1. Ducks roll a 66. That's going to be a lot more than 1. That is 8. And the Blackhawks take a beating in Anaheim, 8-1. Flames and the Avalanche. Calgary, E36 is 2. Colorado, L55, that is 4. Calgary, the flame goes out for Calgary, 4-2. Pittsburgh at New Jersey. Penguins, H11 is 0. Devils, I-24, that is 2. The Devils will get a 2-0 victory. On to March 18th. Senators at the Thrashers. Ottawa, G31, that is 2. Atlanta, I-24, that is also 2. Pressure situations all around. Ottawa's a C, Atlanta is an E. Ottawa can't do anything with a C12, neither can Atlanta with an E33, which means that game is going to overtime. Atlanta with a chance to win first. Thrashers with an I-61 will get it done, and they will take that win from Ottawa 3-2. Penguins and the Bruins. Pittsburgh, J24, that is 2. Boston, H26, that is also 2. Pressure situations all around. Pittsburgh's a C, Boston is an E. C12 and E36 won't help either team. That game is going to overtime. Boston with a chance to win first. An H21 won't get it done for Boston. A J43 won't either for Pittsburgh, which means we've got ourselves another shootout. Both teams are A's in the shootout, round 1. Oh, hold up. I actually did something wrong here. Hang on. Let me see if I can fix this. That should be column M. I just realized my formula was very wrong. So that should be... M1044. Okay. I just realized that I've been doing my shootout formula wrong all season. It was making it easy for me to check for both teams, but I've got to fix that real quick here. Okay, there we are. Alright. Now that we've got the proper shootout lined up, Penguins are an A in the shootout, Boston is a D in the shootout. Alright, it was making things easy to line up. Pittsburgh will score, Boston will not. Round 2. Both teams will score. Round 3. If Pittsburgh scores here, actually a D, yep, D54 will score. So if Pittsburgh scores here, it's over. Which Pittsburgh will score. They'll get the win there, 3-2 in the shootout. Capitals and the Hurricanes. Washington, N42 is 4. Carolina, J43, that is 3. That's a pressure situation for Carolina. They're an E under pressure. But an E34 won't help Carolina. Washington will get a 4-3 victory out of that. Philadelphia at Dallas. Flyers, I-23, that is 2. Stars, L-33, that is 3. Pressure situation for Philadelphia. The Flyers are a D under pressure. A D-45 won't help Philadelphia. Dallas will get a 3-2 victory out of that. Phoenix at Florida. Wow. Coyotes, I-11 is 0. Florida, J-26, that is 2. Panthers will take that one 2-0. Blackhawks and the Kings. LA wanted that one, apparently. Chicago, J-24 is 2. Kings, M-66 is 8. The Kings will beat up the Blackhawks 8-2 as Chicago continues having a terrible West Coast trip. Wild and the Predators. Minnesota, E-33, that is 2. Minnesota, I-52, that is 4. Wild, actually the Predators will beat up on the Wild 4-2. Blues and the Rangers. St. Louis apparently didn't want this one. G-14 is 1. Rangers, J-53, that is 4. And that'll be a win for the Rangers, 4-1. Sabres and the Lightning. Buffalo, I-55 is 4. Tampa Bay, J-21, that is 2. Buffalo will double up Tampa Bay, 4-2. New Jersey at Toronto. Devils, H-52, that is 3. Maple Leafs, J-32, that is also 3. Pressure situations all around. Devils are a C. Maple Leafs are an E. C-65 might help New Jersey, and E-25 says they won't stop the Devils. New Jersey will take the lead late. Toronto's got to empty their net to get the equalizer. But an E-54 won't let Toronto get it. The Devils will take a 4-3 victory out of that one. Sharks and the Canucks. The top 2 teams in the West right now. San Jose, I-36, that is 3. Vancouver, P-55, that is 5. Vancouver will beat up on San Jose, 5-3. On to March 19th. Islanders and the Ducks. New York, G-54, that is 3. Ducks, H-51, that is also 3. Pressure situations all around. Both teams are E's under pressure. An E-61 will just miss helping New York, and an E-51 will also not do anything for Anaheim. That game is going to overtime, where the Ducks have a chance to win first. H-44 won't get it done for New York or for Anaheim, but a G-62 will for the Islanders. They'll take that one 4-3 in overtime. Minnesota at Columbus. Minnesota, I-31, that is 2. Columbus, G-14, that is 1. Pressure situation for the Blue Jackets, they're an E under pressure. Columbus with an E-55 can't get it done. The Islanders will take that one. No, the Wild will take that one 2-1. Sharks and the Flames. San Jose, K-32. K-32 is 3. Calgary, I-46. That is That's also 3. Pressure situations all around. San Jose is a B. Calgary is a D. B44 won't help San Jose. Neither will a D44 help Calgary. That game is going to overtime, where the Flames have a chance to win first. An I-53, that will get it done for Calgary. They will take that win 4-3 in overtime. Wings and the Oilers. Red Wings, H16, that is 2. Oilers, I-21, that is also 2. Pressure situations all around. Detroit is a C, Edmonton is an E. C31 won't help Detroit, neither will an E33 do anything for Edmonton. And now we've got another overtime game where Edmonton has got a chance to win first. And I-62 will get it done for Edmonton, as they will take that win 3-2 in overtime. That is your final score hockey by Downey Games for this block. If your team won today, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always this afternoon. And the Blue Jackets beat Buffalo 6-1, not even close. Very nice on that, Philip. Congrats to your Blue Jackets and your replay. Now, coming back to this replay, we need to pick our next game. First, let me see if I need to resort the standings. I do not. And we are going to be on March 20th, 2010. We've got quite a few relevant games to choose from here in terms of who might be in the playoffs. And actually, let me calculate this out. Atlanta has 12 games left to go, 14 points, 105. Washington has actually clinched a playoff spot. They're the first team to do so. So the Washington Capitals, congratulations to them. They have clinched a playoff spot, which means we might not need to put them back on the board unless they're looking at potentially home ice advantage throughout the playoffs. But let's look at our games here. So first option, Flyers and the Thrashers. The Flyers are actually in last place in the Atlantic Division. The Thrashers look like they're going to be the 5 seed right now, so I'm not interested in that one. Ottawa at Dallas, maybe, but we just had Ottawa on the board. Buffalo at Florida. Buffalo right now leads the division. Florida is not doing anything, so I'm not interested in that. Islanders at the Kings. The Islanders are currently the 4 seed. Actually, the Islanders are currently the 5 seed in the East. The Kings are still fighting for their playoff lives. They're still 5 points out of a playoff spot, so that's possible. Blues and the Devils, Blue Jackets and the Predators, even more, The Blue Jackets are... I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Philip, but the Blue Jackets in this replay are total garbage. They're 1 point behind. They're 1 point ahead of Montreal for the worst record in the entire league. Chicago at Phoenix is a game that I'm actually leaning toward right now. If the playoffs started right now, that would be the 3-6 matchup. Carolina and Pittsburgh. Right now, the Penguins are the 2 seed. Carolina is the 4 seed. That could be interesting for that. Washington and Tampa Bay, no. Mostly because Tampa Bay is just El Hot Garbage. Well, Tampa Bay is not quite El Hot Garbaggio, but they're not doing very well in this replay. Montreal and Toronto, yeah, no. Montreal, the worst team in the league, and we just had Toronto on the board. Detroit at Vancouver could be interesting for a 1-8 preview. So it looks like we're either doing the Blackhawks and the Coyotes and Inside the Crease, which is the current 3-6 preview, or the Red Wings and the Canucks. Which teams have we had on the board more? We've only had, let's see, Wings and the Coyotes have each only been on the board twice each. I'm trying to see who has had more board appearances, but I think everybody, well, the Red Wings actually have had 4 appearances on the board. So I think by default of wanting to rotate new teams on the board, we're going to do the Chicago Blackhawks at the Phoenix Coyotes. So that game That game will take us... Where's that going to take us? I'm looking for Phoenix's home arena. That'll take us to the Gila River Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. Later this afternoon for Inside the Crease Hockey, where the Chicago Blackhawks will be playing the Phoenix Coyotes. Still got a lot of great stuff coming up on the channel otherwise. Tomorrow morning, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the recipes from the World of H.P. Lovecraft cookbook as we make the dessert, Meteor Cakes. Sunday morning, the Summer of Lovecraft will conclude with the game of Elder Sign as we take on Yog-Sothoth. We are currently tied at 1 in that campaign, but we're going in having lost Arkham's 2nd edition. So we'll be down 1-1 to start Elder Sign. As for Wednesday, we're doing another book game as we're playing the House on Sentinel Hill. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone. The Ottawa Senators get a huge win to pick up some breathing room on Toronto in the Northeast Division standings as they get a 3-1 victory over the Maple Leafs. Once again, take care, and I will see you guys later this afternoon.